The setup is actually more complicated than the actual recording. Recording is pretty straightforward. You can do the recording using the UI as present on the OBS screen. You just need to press on the start recording button to start recording. You can pause the recording, that is also available there, and if you are done you can stop the recording. You can also use the hotkeys in place of this UI. We will see how shortly. So as a best practice, I would recommend that you use the Windows capture as part of the source, not display capture. When you do Windows capture, you are only capturing that particular application. For example, if your slides are in Adobe, you are only capturing the Adobe window, or you are making notes in OneNote, you are only capturing that. If you require to show something on the browser, you show only that. Hotkeys, when you are using this, are for convenience. It makes things easier to start recording, pause and stop recording. Once you are done recording, you can see all the recordings under File, Show Recordings. One thing I should mention is whenever you do recordings, it's not that you do continuous recording for 20 minutes to produce a 20-minute video. You often do multiple recordings of shorter duration, and you can merge all these multiple recordings into a longer one using an editing tool like OpenShot. So don't worry about having to do a very long recording in one go. So let's see this recording also in action. All my other settings other than sources are as configured before. So for example, when I click here, click on video, I have set it to 1080 and 720p. Output is also set to medium file size MP4, and hotkeys are also configured. So this is all we have done earlier. We have also seen how to add sources, but let me start fresh now. So let's start with capturing the slides as part of Adobe. So for that I'll click plus. I'm doing Windows capture. And here I am going to select Adobe, pressing OK. So this shows. I'm not going to include webcam now, but if you wish, you can add it as well as part of the sources. And here is where the recording controls are. You need to click on Start Recording. For now, I won't use the hotkeys. I'll just use Start Recording. So when I press Start Recording, you can see that this timeline is progressing. That means the recording has started. When I do this, I shouldn't be spending so much time in this UI. I should immediately go back to my PDF and start explaining some things on this, making my lecture, going through the slides, explaining things to the student. And once I want to pause, I again go back here and I click pause. This is the pause button. And then typical recordings, you never do everything in one go. You gather your thoughts, you cover a few bullets, you pause, you again gather your thoughts, cover a few more bullets in the slides, and again pause. And this thing keeps on going again and again. Finally, you feel that you want a break. Then you can do the stop recording. When you do stop recording, it stops. Now let's see what it recorded. For that, you have to go to File here and click on Show Recordings, and it has a bunch of files. This is the latest file, so let's click on this. So let me mute it. So as you can see, it didn't capture anything else other than the Adobe slide. So going back to OBS, so that is a simple Adobe recording. You can also do a screen capture by deleting this and including the source as the display capture. Display capture is in Windows. Screen capture is what is there in Linux. By selecting this, you can also capture the entire screen. So let's see this also. Now to start recording, we need to visit this portion where the start recording is there. But before I click on start recording, I need to ensure my presentation is ready. So for that, I am going to use a PDF, this particular PDF as my presentation. So let me start recording. I will show the recording first without hotkeys, and I will contrast it with what happens when you use hotkeys. So right now I am not using hotkeys. I'm going to use the UI and I'm going to click on start recording. But I want to record my slides, so I need to minimize this, go to my slides, and then I'll talk about my slides. So this is my lecture. I can go through the slides, talk whatever I want, and I can pause my recording here. Unpause, you have to click on this unpause button here. Again, as you can see, time is moving. I have to go back to my slides, and again I'm going to talk some more. Again I feel okay, I need to pause again. So again I click on the OBS button, again pause, and keep doing this. Finally, when I feel I am done, I am going to click on the stop recording, which is this button. Now that my recording is done, if I want to look at my recording, I have to go to this file, show recordings. So it will take me to this folder, and this is my MP4. As you can see, it is MP4. To see what size it produced, I am right clicking, going with properties, and I am going to see that it produced 4 megabytes for a less than a minute 48-second video. It has produced 4 megabytes. That is still quite a lot. You will have to use OpenShot to reduce the file size further if you want, or you can play with some of the parameters earlier as I mentioned and see if it reduces the file size. So let's click on this video. So as you can see that I will mute the audio. So as you can see, it is playing. My webcam appears in one corner, and the thing is progressing. Because I'm using the UI, you can see that whenever I pause and unpause, this screen appears. And this is very painful. I mean, you will have to keep cutting out that particular scene that appears in the videos so as to avoid distracting your students. So this is why hotkeys are useful. Now let's do the recording again with hotkeys. Here I'm going to remove my webcam just like that. You can always keep it. Now let me do a recording now with the hotkeys. I'm not pressing anything, I'm just minimizing it. I'm going to my slides. So let me go back to my first slide. So this is my first slide, and now I'm going to use my hotkeys where I'm going to press Ctrl F1 because that is what is going to start my recording. Okay, I don't know what is happening because there is no visual guide, but you have to remember, and I have pressed Control space to pause the recording. So I'm pausing my recording. I'm gathering my thoughts. So I'm going to the next slide. I'm now going to do Control R to resume my recording. So I'm starting with this disclaimer, and I can go through the slides, and finally when I'm done, I'm doing Control F2 to stop the recording. Okay. So while I'm doing this, I don't have any feedback, but you have to be careful. Remember when you are pressing Ctrl F1, F2, and I'm going back here. So there is, because I stopped it, nothing shows here, but let me go back to show recordings. And here I have a new file here. I'm opening it. Here if you see, there is no UI of OBS appearing here. it's all clean. So as you can see, I paused some time and went to the next slide. Nothing shows. So this results in a much cleaner videos where you don't have to edit all those insertions of the OBS interface. So this is the importance of hotkeys. So it's definitely a good idea for you to configure them. It takes a little bit of getting used to whether you are pausing or not. You can always go back to OBS and check the time to see whether time is running or not, but that portion you will have to cut out in case it appears in the video.